I know there's a couple other guys in play that are visiting. Duce Robinson, I'm telling Florida State fans right now, that guy can play. I watch everybody play. I see a lot of USC, and man, if they get Duce Robinson, I like him.
Yeah, he's a year younger than James Williams, but similar in that vein. He's already got I believe 795 yards. I can't even remember, maybe 5 touchdowns. I could have that stat wrong. But he's a player. He was a stud at USC. He was going to be a big part of their plans. Again, just a huge human being at like 6'6", 220, 230 pounds. The perfect fit for this Gus Malzahn offense when you think of the huge guys they've had to have success in that one-on-one matchup. Yeah, he's a guy that has production proven at the highest level, plus 2 years to go, and a ton of potential. There's the tie there, obviously, with his dad, Dominic Robinson. The worry was, even though his dad, Dominic Robinson, played at Florida State, he grew up in Arizona, and he stopped at Arizona State before he got here. I mentioned that 24-hour rule. Like, for the most part, it seems like if they visit and they go somewhere else, you don't get to commit within 24 hours. It's not looking good for you. So he's supposed to be here tomorrow, supposed to be flying in for his Florida State visit, alongside another guy I'll get to next after Duce. And yeah, I can't remember, maybe Brennan Sinone put in a crystal ball for him. So he's trending that way to Florida State. As I had mentioned on the previous weeks here, I think we talked about it the day he hit the portal on the show. It's one of the unique opportunities where you can go after these tip-top players in the portal, just like James Williams, just like with a Gunnar Hansen. Like, there's an in there, there's a particular fit, him being a legacy, having all the roots here in Tallahassee, the legend Dominic Robinson's father. So it's one of these guys you can chase. And it's not like he's not one of these kids that's going to, run a ransom or play games or this and that. They've had a relationship with the kid, again, with the ties there with his father and recruiting him out of high school and everything else. So, yeah, if they could get him, it would be a huge, huge commitment and one of the bigger names they'll be able to sign. And who knows? Like I said, as you get this offensive line, you got Castellanos in here. You got Gunnar Hansen on board. You got these guys rolling in. The big thing I mentioned, Caden Kittler, the center that was already on campus the past couple of days, we can get his commitment in the next 24 hours. The next one we're looking at is already crystal balled here, and that's Adrian Medley, a guy who started a ton of games at offensive guard for UCF and is actually from the Pensacola area, right here where I'm from. So it's an easy move. Like, he's got to go past Tallahassee to get home. So you can see why he gets crystal balled, and all of a sudden you plug in, you got a left tackle, now you got a guard that started. If you can get the starting center from UCF, you start to get pretty happy when you look at the young guys you brought in. And there's going to be some pieces on this offensive line. I didn't study that and kind of look at who's left on that from the roster, but there were, some pretty good. Andre Otto showed some potential as a freshman. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get the young man, the transfer from Florida, back, but if you could, he was one of the better. And Richie Leonard, one of the best O-linemen we had. So yeah, there's some pieces there. We'll see what happens with Lucas Simmons and some of these other young guys. But yeah, if you can put that line together, if you can get the Medley to commit, possibly Caden Kittler, all of a sudden you land a Duce Robinson. Like, you can make some hay here in the next couple of weeks of the portal. People are hitting every day, and yeah, you have to have something to sell. That was my message to the fans that were upset that thought we settled on Thomas Castellanos. Like, what are you selling them on? What are you going to sell this tip-top quarterback on? You have no O-line, like proven O-line. You got nobody committed. You're not sure what's going to go on here. But as this thing comes together, you can really see it build. And yeah, again, one of the subjects that we're going to talk about tonight, the expectations could be rising. I said that 7 wins is a grand slam when the season ended. Like, if you could do that, that gets you all the momentum. You could do like Florida, like a Texas Tech is doing right now at 8-4, and really have all the momentum and sell the brand, the coaching staff, all that. But who knows? We're going to see. Bama's hemorrhaging some portal players. It's not the same exact Alabama team we've seen. We should have a left tackle that can handle what they send our way and some other things. It will be fun to see. You never know. You beat Bama, things can get scary in Florida State for that year. If anything, I know Florida State's going to make some money on that game. Listening to folks talk about the tickets, they're up there, so it's going to be a big one. We'll open with a bang, kind of like we did in Ireland, but hopefully it goes our way this year.
Is that a neutral site game?
No, it's a home and home, so it's going to be at Florida State. The stadium renovation's complete. Coaching staff renovation's complete. Roster renovation's complete. It'll be a fun one.
Your old buddy Dustin Hill, I don't know if you saw this, he signed with LSU.
Yeah, I think everybody in Nole Nation caught it because he had some backhanded remarks there. Some not anything crazy, but one of these like, why'd you choose LSU or whatever? Oh, well, they actually have the resources and the this and the that. Kind of disparaging towards FSU on his way out, which is really rubbed the fan base the wrong way. A guy that the whole fan base, the coaching staff was super patient with, super supportive of, held a scholarship for him 2 years removed from his commitment date due to off-field things that we won't get into, and he's underage at that time. But just felt like a punch to the gut. Somebody you were really excited for this year, he ends up getting hurt and can't play. So for him to make those comments, it's kind of like sour grapes. I don't know. Is he saying that he could have played if he'd have had better physical therapy or something? Maybe he could have got back on the field. I'm not sure what he was getting at, but yeah, one of those things where all that goodwill was lost with one comment and one flip. He's from that area, Edna-Carr High School. It is what it is. Good luck. It's a shame we couldn't get it going here, but who knows? Part of that's probably the freshman wide receiver we're bringing in, Javen Boggs, who is Mr. High School, Mr. Florida last year. I'm not sure if he won it or if he's up for it again, but it's an absolute ridiculous year again this year. And he kind of fits that role along with Jalen Lucas coming back, hopefully, if he's nice and healthy. He was like the only hope for our offense before he went down. So we'll be just fine, and we'll see. They're still after some wide receivers. Have one in Omega Blake from Charlotte on campus yesterday. I'm not sure if he was here today as well, but we'll see if we can land him and some other guys. Yeah, things are on the up and up. Of course, Duce Robinson being a big one. If you can land him, that'd be really amazing for that recruit or that portal class to go along with the JUCO guy you brought in, Jordan Scott, another 6'7", kind of tower of the wide receiver.
It's funny. Well, you guys may not necessarily find it funny coming off 2-10, but that you win 2 football games and Ryan Fitzgerald is arguably the best place kicker in the country, and Alex Mastromano was named consensus All-America as a punter. So you got arguably you put the 2 guys together and you've got the best kicking specialists in the country.
Without a doubt. You wasted them, but great kids. They got, screwed over in the all conference selections and things of that nature, but that's because of the team, but those guys, amazing. I mean, he was hitting 59 yarders, 55 yarders like it wasn't nothing, perfect on the whole year, not something that happens very often. And Mastromano was such a victim of field position that it was rare that he got those, downs inside the 10-yard line because, you're barely even getting it out there. It's not like he was hitting out of the back of the end zone. He was just punting from the other end zone. I believe he had the highest average, one of the better hang times, all that stuff. But yeah, just the 2-10 ball club winning.
Absolutely. Consensus All-America. So that must mean the Sporting News, AP Walter Camp, AFCA, Football Writers Association. There you go.
Yep. And is Ray Guy the punter or the kicking award?
Ray Guy is the punter.
What's the kicking award?
Lou Groza.
I believe our guy was actually a finalist, one of the final 3 for the Groza Award, even though he was second team All ACC. So go figure. I get him confused. I was really confident that Ray Guy was the punter, but I could not think of the kicker. I have to remember that. Shout out to our Groza Award winners out there. Our guy Aguayo back in the day. He didn't go perfect, but he kicked a whole hell of a lot more balls than our guy did this year, and he was like 98% or something like that.
All right. Folks, we appreciate you being here, the voice of college football. Hit the like button on your way out. George, anything else we need to hit on before you're on your way to your 7 p.m.?
We could touch on Mike Norvell restructuring his contract.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
I hit on a lot of the things that the fan base wanted. I hadn't mentioned yet the fact that they really strengthened their ties with Florida recruiting, got a lot of younger guys on the staff to go with all the other things with getting the quarterback in, getting the O-line coach, getting the D-line coach, Odell moving off staff. These are all home run things, super high on early, how they finished the recruiting class, how they finished the portal. Um, Another thing that, I didn't preach about that much. It just seems like it's just, when you look into the economy and the Wall Street and you learn how businesses run and stuff, the older you get, uh, money's just money, and it takes money to do something. So I'm just kind of whatever. I'm going to pay my battles in thing every week. But she made a lot of great points about economy's hard out there. Like the majority of the country is living paycheck to paycheck. So anybody that's a booster or pays into battles in and things of that nature, you know, they owe it to us to get it together. Maybe not be so butthurt when you get criticism and things of that nature. And Mike Norvell, to his credit, has been great with that. Great with it. A lot of the people, the players that have remained, the staff, things of that nature. And another sign of that was him saying, "Okay, I'm going to take $4.5 million less this year, whether it's his idea or FSU's idea or Jimmy Sexton's idea. The greatest agent in the game. He's going to get paid $5.5 million this year." And it's only restructured for this year, not the final 3-4 years of the contract. And he's betting on himself. $4.5 million to go to a boosters initiative. I don't know the exact details of it. I don't want to butcher it, but with the collective bargaining coming, where the schools are going to be actually paying the players up to $20 million or whatever it is, that'll go through that and go to that and fundraising and getting that apparatus taken care of. So that's big. And it's just a prove it year. If you win, if everything's on go and you're running for an ACC title, no worries about no buyouts. You're going to get it right back. You're going to get your 10 million the next couple, or 11 million, whatever it climbs to the next couple of years. So just, another positive sign there from all hands on deck and getting this thing going the right way. I said you needed 4 or 5 coaches at least. You ended up getting 6. Unlike the first time you put this staff together, you got your main guys pretty much everywhere but wide receiver. You hit on your first or second choice. And when you end up with an offensive coordinator from the previous staff as your wide receiver coach, that was a head coach at Booker T. Washington High School, I believe. Hope I didn't get that one wrong. Tim Harris, you're doing pretty good. Tons of NFL connections. You're able to retain Patrick Surtain. That's one of the things we were worried about. That happened. I couldn't be happier.